Trigonometry. Now, I want you to say, this topic has 4 parts. Number 1, triangles with a right angle. We call them right-angled triangles. So we are going to first do triangles with a right angle. This is the first type of triangle we should do. And number 2 is triangles without a right angle. Okay? And you should be able to solve all sorts of questions they can give you there. Then number 3, trig equations. Then number 4, trig graphs. Once you know these 4 parts, you are done, okay? Right. This, whenever you are going to meet a diagram, when you're doing maths, and you see a triangle, you have to solve it. They can make 2 triangles stick to each other, whatever. I don't care. I need you to solve it. So I'm going to do with you right now and do questions and give you an assignment. Listen. Okay? Now, remember this before I tell you the rules. There is one thing that you are not allowed to do. The one thing you are not allowed to do in maths is to break any rules. You are not allowed to break a single rule. Whatever rule you get, you are not allowed to break it. Give me 1 second. Okay, so here's what you must know. Today we do this, and you should get me 100%. When you're dealing with triangles with the right angle, listen to the rules. Okay? We do the first one. No one here will ever get 1 question wrong. I want 100% in trig. And I'm going to test you. I want 100%. Listen closely. The first, we are going to do the sections 1 by 1 and master all of them. So triangles with a right angle. So We can do a lot of sections one time, but we need you guys to remember everything we do. So I cannot put too much pressure. So what I do, I'll teach you something, then I give you questions to practice, so that you master it. Then I give you the next thing, questions, you master it. Then I give you the next thing, questions, you master it. Then I give you the next thing, questions, and your maths will be getting better and better. This is in business studies called Kaizen. Kaizen is a Japanese word which means to do improvements every day. That is what I want from you guys. Kaizen, huh? Small improvements every day. You do one rule after another until you now know the whole thing. So listen here. We start with triangles with the right angle. Listen to what I want you to know. And then we're going to do very hard questions. Like very hard ones that I've been doing with the seniors, where you get a box and they want you to find a triangle inside a box. What? Yes. Here's the rule. Listen to the rule. There are only two methods to use when solving a triangle with a right angle. When solving a triangle with a right angle, there are only two methods to use. Method number one is called Pythagoras theorem. Method number one is called Pythagoras theorem, and you put a nice spacing separation. Then you do method number two, which is called SOHCAHTOA. Write this, and I hope you've heard me nicely. I say, as long as you are doing a question that has a right angle, we are doing triangles only. So when you're doing your triangle, please check, does it have a right angle or not? The moment you see a right angle, I want you to start thinking about Pythagoras and about SOHCAHTOA. These are the only two methods that work. If somebody tries to argue, you say, no, don't worry about it. I'm fine. Okay? If somebody tries to argue with you and say, hey, you're wrong, you say, no, don't worry about it. I'm fine. What do we know? We know that any triangle that has a right angle, there are only two ways for you to solve that triangle. Either you are going to use Pythagoras or you are going to use SOHCAHTOA. Period. You should tell someone and you put your tie on, you say, I'm done with you. Only Pythagoras and SOHCAHTOA can work. Pythagoras, it is used when the triangle has a right angle and has two known sides and one missing side. This is the easiest thing I've ever seen. It is a crime. if I'm going to have students who claim to want to pass, but they forget such an easy statement, this statement tells you when you use Pythagoras, you have a triangle with a right angle. And you will be having two sides that you know and one side that you don't know. You could be knowing this one, and you don't know this one. So, example. Examples. Examples. 3, 4x. 3, 5x. 6, 9x. Now, okay, what do you have? All the examples. These are the situations when you will say Pythagoras. When do you use Pythagoras? Don't let me down. I want you to say there is a right angle. You tick. You know two sides. And there is one missing side. One missing side only, which is x. So this one, you have seen it. Now, I want you to know what Pythagoras theorem actually says. Here you now know when you are supposed to use them. Now I want you to know what it says. Pythagoras theorem says Pythagoras theorem says to find a missing side. To find a missing side that you are looking for, a hidden side. Number one, square all three sides in the equation. You square all three sides. Number two, hypotenuse must be alone. Hypotenuse must be alone in the equation. And number three, the other two sides must be adding. So we want to see a sum on the other two sides. So there are three things you must just make. If you do these three things, then you are not lying. You are writing the true Pythagoras theorem. If you don't do these three things, then you are lying. You are writing fake maths. Pythagoras theorem is not what you want. It is a rule. And you must write the rule. Remember, everything must be squared. Square all three sides. Everything must be squared, squared, squared. Hypotenuse must be alone. And the other two sides must be adding. Hypotenuse will be alone. Remember, there are three sides. Always make sure hypotenuse is alone. Whether you know it or you don't know it, people like to make sure that the side they are looking for is alone. No! That's not Pythagoras. That is your own version of maths, which obviously is wrong. Pythagoras says hypotenuse must be alone. Example. Okay? You always start by Pythagoras. Then what it says, then you start solving afterwards. Let's do A. This one, 3, 4x. So it'll be like this. Right. Let's write Pythagoras theorem for this one. Step number 1 is to find who is hypotenuse. Okay? You must always have your triangle labeled when you are trying to get answers. Okay? And hypotenuse is the side which is opposite the corner. So you go to the right angle corner, you go opposite it, the side there is the hypotenuse. So who is our hypotenuse in this case? Who is our hypotenuse in this case? It is x. It's the one opposite the right angle corner. Pythagoras says hypotenuse, that guy must be alone. So x is going to be alone. But it must be squared. Because in Pythagoras theorem, square all three sides or else you're wrong. You say x squared is equal to, you now put the other two, 3 and 4. So it'll be 4 squared plus 3 squared. Are we together? This is the true Pythagoras theorem. Why? Hypotenuse is alone. True. Then everything is squared. True. The other two sides are adding. So this is true Pythagoras. They should add. This is true. I don't want to see a subtraction. I don't want to see fiction. Hypotenuse should be alone. The other two sides should be together and they must be adding. Full stop. Are we together? Good. Here is x. Here's 3, here's 5. Right. Go step by step. Write for me the true Pythagoras theorem. What must you do? Label your triangle. If your triangle is not labeled, then it's hard. Now the triangle is labeled, you can now answer questions. Here, how do you write the Pythagoras theorem, class? Who should be alone? The hypotenuse. That's a rule. Don't ever change it. If you change it, that is where disaster starts. You are already starting disaster because you are changing. You are writing something that's not a rule. That is illegal. I don't want to see you do something that is not a rule. Don't let your mind do that. It has to do the rules. Hypotenuse must be alone, and it must be squared. It will be equal to the other two sides, and they must add like that. Have you seen this? It's a true version of Pythagoras. Then we will start finding answers. That's the next step. But first, I want you to write Pythagoras. Let me just give you one more that you're going to try. This one. Like this. Dintley, Mr. Pythagoras, what did he say we should write here? What is the first thing that we must do that we have not done? In part C, we should label our triangle, right? Yes, we should label hypotenuse, the one which is opposite the corner of your right angle. Then now, what did Mr. Pythagoras say? How do you write this? How do you write this, Dintley? Yes, we square all sides. But who must be alone? Which is 9. So 9 should be alone. And it must be squared. If you leave squared, I don't know what you're writing. You're writing false things. It will be equal to, what do you do with the other two sides, Lenny? Lenny? Mm-hmm. Well done. 6 squared plus x squared. This is the Pythagoras. So can I now trust you when it comes to making the Pythagoras? I'm going to give you a bunch of triangle questions where you are supposed to make the Pythagoras. I don't want you to solve. We'll continue on to solving tomorrow, but I want you to make the Pythagoras theorem, okay? You have to. So don't make me a wrong one. I don't want to see a wrong one. I want to see a correct one.